Good morning. I want you to write this down. It's kind of a quote, it's kind of a statement that's modified from a very old quote by Earl Nightingale. The statement is this, and I want you to write this down. So, whatever I plant in my subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become my reality. And the question I have this morning is who here wants to improve their results? Who wants to improve their progress, what they achieve at the moment? It could be anything, right? We know that our results are determined by our behaviors, right? So the actions that we take, right? So everyone knows the stick figure, but you've got the mind, then there's the body, usually much smaller, right? And here we've got it divided into two. So the conscious mind is your sort of your logical educated. It's basically your first level entry processing tool, right? Then you've got your subconscious mind, right? And this is nothing neuroscience-y perfect or anything. There's a lot more to the brain, as you all know. And that's your subconscious mind. And we know that the body is down there. And if we put arrows in here, you've got information going from the mind down to the body. This is where we take our actions from. The subconscious mind is often where we feel it, right? This is why it's really important to emotionally connect with something. And the conscious mind is your first level thinking mind. But the arrow goes down, and basically, if you go all the way down, this is what creates the results that we want. So if you want to improve your results, then yes, we've got to change our behaviors. And our behaviors is what's driven by our actions through the body. The main point here is that if we want to change our results, we want to change our behaviors. That's one thing. If we want to improve on our results, then we need to change our behavior, right? But if we only change our behavior, now our behavior is what comes in here with actions, right? What's behavior? Actions, behavior, all those things. It's coming in at that level, right? It's usually through the body. Whatever the mind and the brain impresses and that we get emotionally connected with in the subconscious mind, your body will then take on an action. But the thing with just changing behavior in order to create a new result is that it can often be temporary. And I've given this example a couple of times where, a lot of people, if you want to lose weight, they will go and change the behavior, right? So you may find that the behavior that they're going to change is to do more training and do more a gym program and shift how they eat, right? So there's a lot of physical action-oriented behavioral changes that gets put in place in order for someone to lose. Now, what happens is that result doesn't always last because the old habits eventually kicks back in and the result is temporary, right? So it's to do with the paradigm. And the paradigm is basically a collection of habits that we all have. It sits in the subconscious mind. Unless you change the paradigm, you are not going to have a permanent result. Yeah. And last time, so this is lesson 3 of the lessons that we do, right? The last lesson we did was around the knowing doing gap. There's the knowing, let's get rid of circles, right? There's the knowing on one side, the doing on the other side, and there's a gap, right? And you should be doing these things, yet we still don't do them. And the reason there's a gap is because in between is something holding you back from creating the result that you should create, right? So in between this knowing doing is your paradigm, right? You should be doing your writing every week, but you still don't do it, yeah? But again, inside that gap, and that can be quite big for some things, is your paradigm, yeah? And this is why we don't necessarily understand why there's this gap and why we just don't do the things that we know we should be doing, because you know it all. But the idea is that this gap can be there and it can be quite big for some people. And paradigms, and this is really the lesson today. We're just zooming a little bit and going back to revisiting paradigms because it really feeds the next few lessons, right? But we touched on it with the knowing doing gap, that what holds us from doing is the paradigms, and they can control every move you make, right? And it's really important to understand how to build a new paradigm and replace them so it doesn't, the ones that don't serve you, right? In order to get the results. And I think there's a quote in a lesson. To ignore the power of paradigms is to put yourself at significant risk when exploring the future. To be able to shape your future, you have to be ready and able to change your paradigm. We'll go through a couple of things to do with what paradigms are, but they're basically a multitude of habits. It's a multitude of habits that you hold within you. Attitudes, beliefs, expectations. It could even be work practices. It could even be culture in a workplace. That's kind of a paradigm that a workplace can hold. It might be that your department is holding a particular paradigm to do with their culture. But it's a mass of information that is programmed into your subconscious mind. And you are either born with these paradigms genetically, right? We can pass these things on from generation to generation, or they are shaped by environments. So our environments can really create these habits and these results and these ways that we behave, and that's basically epigenetics. And these shape how you approach things, how you react to things, how you interpret things, how you experience the world. So they are fundamentally kind of, I think the saying was that they're basically your glasses that you look through. How you see the world is shaped by this paradigm. Yeah. And they can be positive and negative. So don't think they're always negative. You can have a good paradigm, right? So good habits is going to give you good results. Negative habits is going to give you negative results, right? And generally, yeah, if you're not getting a result, know that the cause of the problem does not lie in the circumstances and the people, the outside world. The cause is within. So your number one place that you want to go to when you want to see a change in your results is within. Your number one place. We tend to go outside, right? We tend to go to people, places, circumstances, all those things. But if you really, really, really want to shift your results, think about how you can just get curious about what goes on within. And maybe it's time for that paradigm shift to come in. If you change your paradigm, you change your results. If you want to change your result, you must shift your paradigm. Or show me your results, and it gives me a very good indication of what's going on in your subconscious mind. So if someone comes up and shows me the results, where they're at with their thesis, their writing, their data collection, all these things, I get a good idea of how they think, where their thinking is at. Yeah. So it's kind of like a bit of an insight view on that person when you see someone's results. Now, it's hard to pick up on our own paradigms at times. It takes someone else to see it. But you can all identify it. I'm going to close this whiteboard. If you're not getting the result that you want, and therefore we need to change our paradigm, which will change our behaviors, which will create the new result. How do we do this? You've got to create new habits, right? So basically replacing the ones with new ones. And I think the theory with habits, with all these habit sessions, is that if you don't replace a negative habit with a good one, then a negative habit will just be replaced by another negative habit. You will constantly stack up negative habits unless you deliberately go and replace a bad habit with a good one. And yes, it's through time and space repetition. That's one way. So there's generally two ways. Time and space repetition, which is, hey, goal card. Through time and space repetition, if I repeat this, connect with this emotionally, this will do something, right? It'll start to shift the belief, the thinking, the patterns, the expectations, and it starts to catch up and becomes a new habit of thinking, right? That's why a goal card to me suddenly made a fair bit of sense, right? Because yes, I do want certain things and I do think I can have this goal, but there's often enough opposite things in my mind as to, oh, I don't know if it's going to happen. There's enough little internal dialogue going on that pushes this goal further away. Now, that's one way, is time and space repetition. The other way is through a very intense emotional impact. Right? Now, not many of us go through a very big emotional impact. And I mean something like, if your mum dies of smoking, of lung cancer, you may stop smoking immediately in that moment and go cold turkey. That's an emotional impact. Yeah. But we don't necessarily go through those emotional impacts to have a really instant shift in our behaviors. So therefore, we've got to do a bit of brain training, right? And go through time and space repetition in order to create these new habits. Small changes every day. Fundamental impact in your results. Yeah, always. It's all this work is doing. And the idea is the more you can write this out, but it's the mental image. If you can create an image in your mind, because all successful people, whether they're in sport or business or in life, the Olympians, the tennis players at the moment, they all have a clear mental image of what they want. And it really is something that we all can do a whole lot more, is just hold that image. It's a little bit better than just writing it out. And the key is to reprogram your subconscious mind. And the real crux of our subconscious mind is that it has no ability to reject things. It can only accept. Now, that was a big point for me. If my subconscious mind will accept whatever I impress on it, which then feeds my behaviors, what am I doing? Right? What responsibility am I taking to feed the subconscious mind things that I actually want it to accept? Because it will only accept, it cannot reject things. That's what the conscious mind is doing. At your conscious level, you have a choice every single day what you take on. And there's opposites to everything, but we need to be consciously and responsible for what at the conscious level we want to take in to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, because it can only accept, it doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. Align your subconscious mind and really be responsible. You've got to take 100% responsibility for what you take onto your conscious mind that feeds your subconscious mind, that's going to affect your behaviors and create the result. So what you look through, how you see the world at your five senses level, which is our conscious mind, that's biased based on your paradigm. What we were told at one point was to put a dot in the middle of the card. And apparently that focus and that dot, you can kind of see it on my card, helps you focus into the content and stuff. It's kind of like an attention focus thing. But it is that. It's if you're not emotionally connected to this, it'll do nothing for you. Yeah. It's all about the emotions. Again, for some of us that's sort of in that sort of more doing masculine way of working, we just want to tick it off every morning and go. I still get into that, but I'm a lot better now. And the activity that we'll take 5 minutes to do this, is just to really now feel this, write it out, go into more details than you would normally do it, right? What I want you all to do is just for a minute, I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to see a golden beam of light flowing down into your head, like a big gold beam is really shining down into the top of your crown of your head. And then that golden beam is circulating through your head and down into every cell of your body. So really see this golden beam coming down into your head and circulating your whole body. And it's a beam of energy. And as this energy freely flows to and through you, circulating into every molecule of your being, let your body become very light. And then mentally envision yourself already in possession of the results that you want. See yourself having it. Like really mentally, visually see the result, already in possession of that result. And the results are as real in your mind as the clothes that you are wearing today. So really see that picture, create the picture, work out what's in there. Use your five senses. So what do I see? What do I touch? What can I hear? What can I smell? Right? And I want you really to create that beautiful image in your mind with really good light energy that you are already possessing that result. Wearing the gown, having the PhD, buffy hat, being with people that you love, care, smiles. Put this image in your memory bank, right? So this is the image that you want to go to. When you think about what you're doing, when you think about your goals, this is the real visual image that you want to pick up as often as you can. And the more details you can put in there, the better. All right, you can open your eyes. Now what I want you to do is take pen to paper, and I want you to describe in as much detail as possible, already having possessed this goal. And I want you to keep writing as much as you can about it for the next 3 or 4 minutes. State how you feel, talk about all the emotions, write in the present tense. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I've achieved this PhD. It feels incredibly amazing. Like just now, keep writing about it as much as you can. And I want you to write it so clearly that if someone else reads it, they can create a mental image in their mind of where you're at, where you're standing, everything. Yeah. So let's do a little bit of time just really connecting with the goal that we already possess. And if you can't write, just sit there and hold the image. Add more details to it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Happy Friday.